Have you ever heard of hypothyroidism? If you haven't, listen up. This condition can seriously affect your hormones and bodily functions. Your thyroid is a small, butterfly-shaped gland in your neck. And when it can't produce enough thyroid hormones, you'll experience hypothyroidism. This condition is like pressing a slow-motion button on your body's functions. Everything, including your heart's rhythm, starts to wind down, and you might notice unexplained weight gain, irritability, weak muscles, and trouble breathing or swallowing due to a swollen neck. Sounds scary, right? Besides conventional treatments for hypothyroidism, taking vitamin and mineral supplements may be of additional help. The trick is to figure out which are genuinely beneficial. But hey, no worries. In today's video, we've got your back, and your thyroids, with the lowdown on the best vitamins and minerals that can really make a difference for hypothyroidism. One, iodine. Here's a mineral you don't want too little or too much of for your thyroid. This is because both deficiency and excess amounts have been associated with thyroid disorders. Thyroid function is vital for the metabolism of different tissues and plays a crucial role in developing the central nervous system in babies and children. You see, there are two iodine-containing hormones called T3 and T4. Both are responsible for the effects of the thyroid. Now, here's the thing. Iodine is an essential element for making those hormones, but it's not something we have in unlimited amounts. One of the causes of hypothyroidism is iodine deficiency. The body needs a sufficient amount of this mineral to produce T3 and T4 hormones. In hypothyroidism caused by iodine deficiency, there may not be enough iodine available to produce an adequate amount of hormones. Additionally, when the thyroid gland is not functioning correctly or is underactive, it may have difficulty effectively eliminating iodine from the bloodstream. This can potentially lead to elevated levels in the blood, which may exacerbate symptoms associated with certain thyroid conditions, such as Graves' disease. However, it is important to clarify that elevated iodine levels in the blood do not directly cause hypothyroidism. The recommended dietary allowance for iodine for males and females averages around 150 micrograms for those 19 and older. Iodine can be supplemented. However, your diet is the best way to increase levels naturally. Good dietary sources of iodine are seaweed, fish, shrimp, dairy products, and cooking with iodized table salt.
Looking for answers on all the latest health and wellness news? Hit that subscribe button and join our millions of followers. Stay up to date on all our great Bestie content.
2. Vitamin B12. This vitamin plays a vital role in protecting, nurturing, and facilitating the proper functioning of the central nervous system. Although it doesn't directly affect the thyroid gland's function, it can indirectly impact thyroid function because of its essential role in metabolism. Adequate levels of vitamin B12 are necessary for proper energy metabolism and the synthesis of DNA, both of which are important for the normal functioning of cells, including those in the thyroid gland. Some individuals with a vitamin B12 deficiency may experience symptoms similar to hypothyroidism, like fatigue, weakness, and difficulty concentrating. This is because vitamin B12 deficiency can affect overall energy levels and cognitive functioning. Addressing an underlying vitamin B12 deficiency, either through supplementation or dietary changes, is recommended before targeting thyroid function. That said, there is still a high incidence of B12 deficiency in hypothyroid patients. A study even states that traditional symptoms are not a good guide in determining the presence of B12 deficiency. So, screening for vitamin B12 levels should always be done in hypothyroid patients. Findings also reported that a replacement of B12 vitamins could possibly lead to an improvement in symptoms. If you want to add more B12 foods to your diet, an excellent place to begin is by increasing your consumption of lean cuts of beef and poultry. If you prefer vegetarian options, consider including fortified foods enriched with B12. These can include plant-based milk, cereals, and products made with nutritional yeast. By incorporating these choices into your meals, you can boost your vitamin B12 intake. 3. Selenium. Our bodies only need trace amounts of selenium. And while selenium deficiency is quite rare in the US, it is still nutritionally essential for our bodies. This is because it plays a vital role in reproduction, DNA synthesis, protection from oxidative damage and infection, and, most importantly, thyroid hormone metabolism. In a study exploring the relationship between selenium levels and thyroid health, ultrasound was used to measure the thyroid's volume and echostructure. Participants' selenium levels, thyroid hormones, antioxidant vitamins, trace elements, and iodine concentrations were measured at the start of the study. Results showed a correlation between selenium levels and thyroid volume in women. Selenium proved to be protective against goiter and damage to thyroid tissue among female participants. These findings suggest that selenium may offer protection against a swollen thyroid and could play a role in safeguarding against autoimmune thyroid disease. Women with specific antibodies related to the thyroid gland may experience low thyroid hormone levels during pregnancy. After giving birth, there's even a possibility that they develop thyroid problems, including an underactive thyroid. But there's some good news. Taking a selenium methionine supplement, which contains selenium, could potentially help reduce these conditions after childbirth. The recommended dietary allowance of selenium is 55 micrograms for males and females between 19 and 51. However, pregnant individuals within this age group should aim for a slightly higher amount of 60 micrograms. But be warned, it's important to note that excessive selenium intake can have adverse effects, including toxicity, so it's advisable to stick to the recommended amounts. If you're worried about your selenium intake and think you may be deficient, don't fret. Check out our video on the hidden signs of selenium deficiency and foods to fix them. Now, let's get back to our list. 4. Vitamin D. This vitamin stands apart from the others due to its ability to be synthesized by the body through sun exposure. And, unfortunately, only a handful of foods naturally contain this vital nutrient. Because the natural source of vitamin D is the skin's production through sunlight, many people have insufficient vitamin D levels due to limited sunlight exposure. But what's the correlation between vitamin D and hypothyroidism? Well, scientists utilized survey data collected over a span of 5 years to categorize participants into groups based on their vitamin D levels, and whether they had hypothyroidism or not. The findings revealed that approximately 25% of individuals with hypothyroidism showed a deficiency in vitamin D, whereas only 20% of those without the condition had low vitamin D levels. This evidence strongly suggests a correlation between low levels of vitamin D and the occurrence of hypothyroidism, specifically indicating a potential link to autoimmune hypothyroidism. Another study investigating the correlation between vitamin D deficiency and this condition found that those with hypothyroidism not only had low vitamin D levels in their blood, but also exhibited low calcium levels. This makes sense, as vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium to help protect against diseases that weaken your bones. They also discovered a strong link between those low vitamin D and calcium levels and an increase in a thyroid-stimulating hormone essential for maintaining the body's metabolism and development. These discoveries indicated that vitamin D and calcium deficiencies closely affect the degree and severity of hypothyroidism in patients. And just like with vitamin B12, screening is recommended for hypothyroid patients to determine if they have low vitamin D levels to provide the appropriate supplementation. 5. Zinc. Did you know that an underactive thyroid can cause hair loss? In cases of hypothyroidism, the thyroid gland may experience difficulties in absorbing zinc, potentially leading to a decreased availability of this essential mineral in the body. And guess what? Zinc deficiency is directly linked to hair loss. In a case study, a woman reported weakness, lack of appetite, hair loss, and scaly skin. When tested, her thyroid levels were low, indicating hypothyroidism. When given thyroid supplements, her symptoms didn't improve. That's when researchers realized it wasn't thyroid hormones that were the issue, but hypothyroidism causing zinc deficiency. Once on zinc supplements, her skin was clear a month later, her mood improved, and her hair started growing back. This case highlighted the importance of considering and monitoring zinc deficiency in cases of hypothyroidism. Overall, zinc is an essential micronutrient for thyroid health. Deficiency can affect thyroid function because zinc helps activate enzymes involved in producing thyroid hormones. The daily zinc requirement for adults is 8 milligrams for females and 11 milligrams for males. If you'd rather increase your zinc levels through your diet, the richest food source of this mineral are in meat, fish, and seafood. Oysters specifically contain more zinc per serving than any other food. 6. Iron. Last but certainly not least, almighty iron. This mineral is essential for preventing anemia, a condition where the body doesn't produce enough healthy red blood cells. Iron deficiency anemia can mess with thyroid function and the growth and development of children. The thyroid needs iron to help convert T4 into T3, the active form of the thyroid hormone. One case study involved a 50-year-old woman who was always tired, dizzy, and had severe anemia. It turns out these symptoms are often linked to hypothyroidism, which means her thyroid gland wasn't producing enough hormones. When researchers looked into her lab results, they noticed some key things. Her thyroid-stimulating hormone levels were really high, while her T4 and T3 thyroid hormone levels were low. These findings are typical of hypothyroidism. But here's the twist. The study revealed that the root cause of her hypothyroidism was actually iron deficiency anemia. It wasn't until they addressed her iron deficiency and gave her replacement therapy for both iron and thyroid hormones that her thyroid function improved. So, treating the iron deficiency ended up being the key to helping her thyroid get back on track. If iron deficiency can cause impaired thyroid function, how can we avoid it? Start by incorporating iron-rich foods into your diet. These may include red meat, fish, seafood, legumes, leafy green veggies, nuts, and seeds. The recommended daily intake of iron differs based on sex and age. For males 19 to 50, the recommended intake remains at 8 milligrams. Females age 19 to 50, on the other hand, require 18 milligrams of iron, which decrease to 8 milligrams after the age of 50. Determining thyroid conditions without testing can be difficult and isn't recommended. However, some signs and symptoms can help indicate that something isn't quite right and it's time to get checked out. So why not check out these videos next to find out what they are? Thyroid symptoms in women, signs, causes, and treatment. Or 14 early warning signs your thyroid is in trouble. Go ahead, click one. Or better yet, watch both and learn about your thyroid. Will you include any of these vitamins or minerals in your daily routine? Let us know in the comments below.